Welcome to today's Explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the royal court of a legendary king to unpack a classic tale. And let me tell you, this is so much more than just a simple bedtime story. It's an absolute masterclass in deduction, logic, and the incredible power of observation.
Okay, let's dive into this. Picture this. You're handed a securely closed wooden box. You're told by someone with absolute authority that it contains something incredibly valuable. But there's a massive catch. You are strictly forbidden from opening it to find out what's inside. So how would you figure it out? Go ahead and put on your detective hats right now. I want you to play along with this ancient riddle as we explore how one of history's cleverest minds tackled this exact, seemingly impossible problem.
Section 1. The King's Challenge.
Our story begins in the grand court of King Krishnadevaraya. One day, the king decides it's time to test the legendary intelligence of his cleverest courtier, a man named Tenali Rama. The king walks up and presents Tenali with this beautifully crafted, tightly sealed box. And the parameters of this test? Incredibly strict. The king announces to the whole court that the box contains something very, very valuable. The challenge is that Tenali has to guess exactly what's inside without breaking the seal or opening the lid even a fraction of an inch. And naturally, the stakes are sky high. The king promises a massive reward if he gets it right. But failing in front of the entire royal court? Yeah, that would be a huge blow to his reputation as the resident genius.
Section 2. Analyzing the clues.
Let's move along and see how this builds, because this is where the story shifts from just a fun royal game to a genuinely fascinating study of the investigative process. Tenali Rama didn't just panic. He didn't start blurting out random blind guesses hoping to get lucky. Nope. Instead, he applied what we would instantly recognize today as a rigorous scientific method to gather data from a completely closed system. First, he looked at it carefully, examining the outside for any visual clues or dimensions. Second, he lifted it, really feeling its mass and density in his hands. Third, he shook it slightly, listening super closely for the sound of shifting objects or clinking coins. And finally, he just paused and thought deeply. He processed all this raw physical data before uttering a single word.
When he finally did speak, Tenali delivered a cryptic deduction that literally stunned the room. He said, "Your Majesty, it contains something that would make anyone happy to see, but even after getting it, one cannot use it." Now really think about that for a second. What kind of highly prized object brings immense joy to a king just by looking at it, but lacks any direct physical utility? I mean, you can't spend it like a gold coin, you can't wear it like a sparkly jewel, you can't wield it like a sword, so what on earth could it possibly be?
Now, what's really interesting here is the central paradox Tenali Rama managed to identify. Think of it like an equation. On one side, we have the king's own premise: the item is very valuable. But on the flip side, through his physical testing, Tenali figured out it has a very low weight. If an item is exceptionally valuable to a ruler but completely lacks the heavy weight of traditional treasures like gold bars, silver, or heavy gemstones, well, that dramatically narrows down the possibilities, doesn't it? This wild contradiction between high value and low physical mass is the absolute key to unlocking this entire mystery.
Section 3. The Grand Reveal. So, the king is thoroughly intrigued by Tenali's logic. He smiles, agrees with the assessment, but pushes him for his final answer. The tension in the court is just palpable. With absolute confidence, Tenali Rama states, "My guess is that it contains the map of the kingdom." Imagine the utter silence in that room as the king reaches down and unlatches the box. He opens it up, and to his complete astonishment and the total amazement of all the courtiers craning their necks to see, there, resting softly inside, is a beautiful, old, intricately drawn map of his entire kingdom. It perfectly matched Tenali's deduction. It's something a king loves to look at. It's incredibly valuable for ruling, but it's lightweight and not functionally used like a daily tool or a piece of currency. Talk about hitting the nail on the head.
Section 4. The Power of Observation.
Of course, the entire court immediately erupted in praise for Tenali Rama's brilliance, and a very pleased King Krishnadevaraya gladly handed over that grand reward. And this brilliantly illustrates the real lesson of our explainer today. When the king asked how he possibly figured it all out, Tenali shared this profound piece of wisdom. He said, "Your Majesty, to understand something, it is not necessary just to see it. The small clues about it can also tell a lot." He looked completely beyond the surface. He didn't literally need to see the map with his own eyes because the physical properties of the box painted the entire picture right in his mind.
So the crucial point is this. We can actually apply Tenali's framework to our own challenges. First off, wise individuals don't just look passively at things. They actively observe and pay close attention to the minor details. Second, small, seemingly insignificant clues, like the slight weight of a wooden box, can completely reveal the bigger picture if you just take the time to connect them logically. And finally, careful, deliberate observation has the power to solve even the most difficult, closed-box puzzles we face in our everyday work or our daily lives.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to chew on. We all face closed boxes every single day, don't we? Problems where we can't immediately see the answer, data we don't fully understand, or complex situations that just seem totally opaque. So, what hidden clues are you missing in your own daily puzzles? I want to challenge you to slow down, mentally lift the box, shake it slightly, and look for those hidden contradictions. Thanks so much for exploring this amazing story with me today, and hey, keep observing the world around you.